Hi, I'm Alicia and welcome to my channel Papercraft Secrets. Today we're going to be making some wedding cards. This is a bulk set of 8 cards and it's featuring the new Mintay Wedding Book. The cards are a clean and simple design with minimum embellishments and carefully placed elements. A lot of white space is used on the card as well, so it has a very classy and elegant feel, perfect for wedding cards. This is a kit available on my website at www.papercraftsecrets.com.au. Inside your kit, you will receive the new Mintay Wedding Book. Now this is quite a thick notepad or a book, and it's got lots and lots and lots of pages and lots of different designs in the book. We're only going to be using a couple of these designs, so you'll have leftover pages that you'll be able to make many more wedding cards using your own designs. Inside the kit also you receive the basic book 1. This is a background page, all different types of white pages, very subtle. Inside the kit you will also receive a set of Kaisercraft note cards that we'll be using as the base for our cards. I have already pre-cut some of the fussy cutting images that we will be needing to make our cards. The first step that you're going to need to do is choose 8 pieces of white paper from the Mintay Basic Book White. I need you to trim your card to 4 1/4 inches. That way you can then cut your paper to 4 inches, half for the front and half for the back. So it'll save you using a lot of paper when you're creating the cards. You'll get that nice border around the edge of both the inside and the front of your card. So go through with your little card, your pre-cut cards or your cardstock, and make sure that the front of your card measures in width 4 1/4 inches. Then taking your white paper, you can cut it easily at 4 inches, and that will mean that half will fit on the front cover of your card and the other half will go on the inside of your card. And this will allow you to use 1 sheet of paper per card. This will save you having to use up a lot of your beautiful Mintay paper pads. Once you have cut out 16 pieces from your white paper pad, I'm going to choose to do some machine stitching around the edges of just the paper that will go on the front of the card. These cards are a very classic, clean and simple design, so it is nice to add a little bit of stitching around the outer edge of the front of the card. This is completely optional though, and if you wanted to, instead of doing machine stitching, you could do embroidery stitching, or you could just not do anything at all. You could use a die to create a machine stitched look, or you could use an ink pad to ink the edges. It's just one technique that you can use that creates a little bit of extra dimension on a card. Our next step is we're going to glue the front pages onto the base of our card. So I'm using some liquid glue on the reverse. I'm just going to pop that on, and then I will simply attach that to the front of each of the cards. And you just need to continue doing that until you have covered all of your 8 cards. Once you've covered all of the fronts of the 8 cards, it's then time to cover the inside of the cards. Now, I actually didn't machine stitch the inside papers. Of course, you could if you wanted to. So we're just going to be gluing those onto the inside of the card, and this just allows the card to have a nice even balance and a little bit more strength in the back of the card, and it also just finishes the design off nicely. Our next step is to fussy cut some of the designs from this book. So I use this page and this page. So I cut out 2 of each of the wreaths, the floral wreaths. I cut out 2 of the just married and 2 of the larger Mr. and Mrs., 2 of the smaller Mr. and Mrs., and then the banner Mr. and Mrs. ones. So that gave me a sentiment. And then from this page I cut out all of the couples, the bride and groom pictures, and that gave me 8 of those. There is so much potential from the wedding book. I've only just scraped the surface on using some of these images to create cards. My next step was to just cut up some recycled cardboard, or you could use double-sided foam tape to elevate the designs a little bit on the card. I set about applying glue to the recycled cardboard, and then I popped that on the back of each of the wreaths. So this meant that my wreaths would stand out a little bit on the card, and because it's such a clean and simple card, it's nice to have a little bit of dimension to the cards. My plan was to put one of the couples in between on top of the wreath and to have a sentiment for each card. I like the way the bride and groom fit nicely in between the wreath, and you still see the foliage on either side. My next step was to apply some recycled cardboard onto the back of the bride and groom pictures. Again, you could use double-sided foam mounting tape. My next step was to glue the wreath into the center of my card and glue the bride and groom on top of the wreath, and then I just glued the sentiment flat onto the base of the card. And this is a very simple way of creating a card. Cards are very elegant. They're a clean and simple design, and they can be made in bulk as well. So if you are making cards for a market or a craft stall, you could easily create quite a few of these cards in a short amount of time. You could also keep them for your stash of wedding cards. So I'm just going through now and gluing all of the card pieces and elements down onto the cards. The bride and groom in the middle of the wreath, the sentiment on the base, and then the wreath in the middle of the card. And each design is slightly different, but they all have a lovely, classy feel, very elegant, white and green, natural colors type of wedding card. So that concludes our card tutorial today, a set of 8 clean and simple wedding cards. This is available on my website at www.papercraftsecrets.com.au as a kit. I can post it directly to your house. You can follow along with the video tutorial and we can create together. The 2 paper pads that come in the kit will also allow you to create many more wedding cards of your own design, so you can have a play with that as well. Thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. I hope you have a lovely crafty day.